Let me ask you something. What if the biggest thing holding you back from success isn't your talent, your bank account, or even your luck, but just a single, simple belief locked away in your own head? Today, we're going to get into one of the most powerful ideas in modern psychology, the science of mindset, all based on the groundbreaking work of Dweck. Oh, I've been there. You know that feeling. You're staring at a problem, maybe a spreadsheet, and you just get that sinking feeling, nope, my brain isn't wired for this. We hit a wall, and that little voice in our head goes, see? Told you? You're just not built for it. And it feels completely true, like a core fact about who we are. But, and this is the big but, what if that feeling isn't a fact at all? What if that story you're telling yourself is the actual wall? You know, maybe you didn't go for that big promotion because you'd already decided you weren't a natural leader, not because you couldn't actually learn the skills. That's what we're digging into here. This idea that how you see yourself shapes everything, and that view can absolutely be changed. All right, so if our beliefs are really that powerful, we've got to understand what they are. And that brings us to the discovery that kicked this whole thing off, a tale of two very different mindsets. It all started with some puzzles. Imagine this. Dweck gives a bunch of 10-year-old kids a series of IQ puzzles that get harder and harder. And as the difficulty cranked up, she saw this amazing split. One group of kids got really anxious and frustrated. They basically decided they weren't smart enough and they just gave up. But the other group, they got excited. They'd say things like, ooh, I love a challenge, and would lean in even more. The difference wasn't how smart they were to begin with, it was how they saw the struggle itself. And that's what led to defining these two mindsets. A fixed mindset is this belief that your intelligence, your talents, they're just carved in stone. You've got a certain amount, and that's that. So your whole goal is to prove you have enough. On the flip side, a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be grown, like a muscle, through hard work and learning. Your goal isn't to prove you're smart, it's to get smarter. And just look at how this plays out inside our own heads. The fixed mindset is over on the left, thinking, I'm either good at this or I'm not. So when you fail, the story is, I'm no good. But look at the growth mindset on the right. The thought there is, I can learn anything I want to. And when you fail, the thought becomes, mistakes are how I learn. It's like running two completely different operating systems in your brain. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this sounds like a nice self-help idea, but is it real? Is there any hard science to back this up? Well, the answer from modern neuroscience is a huge, resounding yes. Your brain is literally built for this stuff. See, for centuries, we kind of thought the adult brain was fixed, but we now know that's totally wrong. The magic word is neuroplasticity. Just think about learning to ride a bike. The first time you try, your brain is just firing signals all over the place, right? You're wobbly, you fall, but the more you practice, your brain physically builds and strengthens the specific pathways for balancing and pedaling until it's second nature. That right there is neuroplasticity in action. Honestly, this is the best and simplest way to think about it. Just like any other muscle in your body, your brain doesn't get stronger by doing what's easy. It gets stronger when you really push it. So the next time you're struggling with something new and you feel that mental burn, that's not the feeling of failure. That's the feeling of your brain building a new connection. It's the feeling of getting stronger. You're not just learning a new thing, you're physically rewiring your mind. Okay, so we've got the science. Our brains really can change. So let's see how this plays out where it actually counts. Let's look at the huge impact mindset has on achievement and resilience out there in the real world. Let's go back to Dweck's research, because this one study she did on praise it's a real eye-opener. She had students take a test, and afterwards she praised one group for their natural ability. She told them pretty much exactly this. But she told a second group who did just as well something different. She praised their effort. Then, here's the kicker, she offered all of them a choice. You can do a harder task that you'll learn a lot from, or an easier one that you'll do really well on. Get this, an incredible 90% of the kids praised for their effort chose the harder task. But the majority of kids praised for being smart, they chose the easy one. They were suddenly afraid to do anything that might risk their smart label. The words we use literally change a kid's mindset. And this idea scales all the way to the top. When NASA was picking astronauts, they actually rejected candidates who had a perfect record of nothing but success. Why? Because those people had never proven they could bounce back. They specifically chose people who had faced massive failures and fought their way through them. That's a growth mindset in action. Or think about Christopher Reeves.
Doctors told him his paralysis was a fixed condition, but he adopted a growth mindset, believing his effort could change things, and he defied all medical expectations.
You know how so many of us say, oh, I can't draw, I can't even make a stick figure? Well, an artist named Betty Edwards totally challenged that idea. She took students who were convinced they had zero artistic talent and taught them the actual learnable skills of drawing, things like how to see edges and negative space. The change in their self-portraits after just 5 days was, well, it was astonishing. It proved that drawing isn't some magical talent, it's a skill you can develop.
Okay, so the evidence is clear. A growth mindset is a huge deal, which brings us to the most important question of all. How do we actually build one for ourselves? Because this isn't some trait you're born with. It's a skill, and you can start building it right now. This is maybe the simplest, most powerful tool you have. Just one little 3-letter word, yet. The next time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or I'm just not good at this, do me a favor and just add that one word to the end. I'm not good at this yet. It's a tiny change, but it's magic. It turns a dead end into a journey. It completely reframes the entire situation.
And beyond that, here are 4 practical steps. Number 1, value the process, not just the outcome. 2, reframe failing as learning. 3, stop trying to get everyone's approval. And 4, get inspired by other people's success instead of feeling threatened by it. For me, number 3 is the tough one. It is so tempting to just want to look smart and avoid asking the dumb question. But you know what? Real growth only ever happens when you're brave enough to be a beginner.
So up until now, we've been focused on our own individual minds. But what about the places we're in every day? Can a team, a company, or even a family have a collective mindset? Oh, you bet it can. And you can feel the difference, can't you? A fixed mindset culture is always looking to hire superstars. People hide their mistakes, and getting feedback feels like you're being criticized. But in a growth mindset culture, the whole game is different. The focus is on developing everyone's potential. It's safe to take risks, mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, and feedback is treated like a gift that helps you get better. So, if you only take one single thing away from all of this, please let it be this. Your mindset is not some permanent part of who you are. It is not etched in stone. It is simply a belief. And the most powerful, liberating truth in the world is that beliefs can be changed. You have the power to change yours. So I want to leave you with a direct challenge. Don't just let this be some interesting idea you heard. I want you to actually use it. What is one challenge in your life, big or small, that you've been telling yourself you just can't do? I challenge you, today, to reframe it, to see it not as a final judgment on who you are, but as the very first step on an exciting new path of learning and growth.